All right, so you're probably saying, man, I went through this list, did my homework, I've been putting in the work. Here's a list of the top 10 most highly paying jobs right now and 5 years and 10 years from now. But none of these jobs are jobs that I like. I mean, I don't want to be a lawyer. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be an engineer. I hate math. I hate science. I'm like, I don't like anything. What do you do? Right? That's a tough question, right? So here's how you can hack the system. This is why we're here, right? Hacking the system, right? So look at the best advice is this. Regardless of what passion you have, if you still can't find a passion or job you like that's on the list of most in-demand jobs for right now and the future, just pick one anyway. Pick the best option you have on that list. Because if you pick anything that's not on that list, you're more probable not to make money after you graduate school. I'm not saying you can't make it. You can still make it, right? But the whole point of this is to minimize any probability of failure, right? So I would say this, just pick anything on that list that you like the most. It may not be the most ideal major, just pick it, right? And then whatever passion and hobbies you have, do that on the side. Start a side hustle, a business on the side, essentially, a passion project, right? So for example, with me, I told you guys how I love social studies, learning about different cultures and different people, right? But that was not on the list in terms of most in-demand majors, because people who major in social studies don't really make six figures, right? So while I was in college, I began a side hustle called Leximo. Leximo was a multilingual social dictionary. So it came about from me being in my junior year in computer lab, working with my colleague and friend of mine, who's now actually a coworker, right? My friend Ace. And we took our two passions. He was the Washington, D.C. spelling bee champion, those same people you see on TV doing the spelling bee contests, right? Because he was great at grammar and spelling, and I was great at social studies. So we took our two passions and founded a company around that, a startup, right? So in college, I worked on this probably for 1 year, one full year, going out there. We built an application, it was a web application in Ruby on Rails, built a mobile application in graduate school, right? So this was my passion project where I was working on my hobby, that skill, that field that I loved, while majoring in computer engineering, right? So I love computers as well, but I was able to marry that with my hobby and work on something that, right? And when I graduated college, right, my startup didn't really take off, but I still got a chance to work on my passion project on something I loved, to a point that if it did take off, I could have not gone to the corporate world, not gone to the 9 to 5, just really focused on this, on that passion project, that side hustle, and turning that into a full-fledged business. Right? So my advice to you out there, if you don't find any major that you like, just pick one anyway, then start something on the side that you do like, and work on it and put in all the effort you can while in college, to a point that if it takes off, you can do that full time and make money that way. But if it doesn't take off, then you can continue on going to the corporate world, working on that major you have, right? Based on whatever degree you have, working on in that field, in that space, bringing home a steady paycheck, right? A nice paycheck where you're banking, but you still keep on doing your side hustle, right? You don't stop. You still keep doing your side hustle until you eventually reach a point where you're making more money in the side hustle, and you can then leave your corporate job that you don't really like that much and focus on your true passion, your true thing that you like, right? Does that make sense to you guys? So let me try to give you a different example. So for example, let's say that your passion is nonprofits, right? You want to go out there, save the world, save the children, right? You want to go out there, work in the UN, people who are in emerging countries, third world countries, developing countries, and help them. Well, but at the same time, those people aren't really making six figures, right? So that's the tough thing to balance. How do you balance the two of getting that six-figure lifestyle, but also working in something that you love, like nonprofits? So one example would be, just because you work in nonprofits doesn't mean you can't make money in nonprofits. What if you can be a doctor for nonprofits, right? What if you can be a lawyer for nonprofits? What if you can be an engineer for nonprofits? Or maybe you don't like any of that. Who cares, right? Just pick something, right? Maybe you work as a lawyer or something, or a doctor, or doctor's probably gonna take a while. Maybe you work as, right now, one of the most in-demand jobs is data scientist, for example, right? Maybe you're pretty decent in math, right? So you pick data science. You can do data science for nonprofits. Ever thought about that, right? Do that while on the side having your own nonprofit that you work on, right? So you go to your job, your 9 to 5, doing data science, right? Doing all these different coding things, analyzing data, big data, right? Then when you come back from work after 5, you work from 6 to 9, 6 to midnight, working on your nonprofit. Then if your nonprofit takes off, right? If it trends upwards, you can then leave your job as a data scientist and work in your nonprofit full time, right? So you're basically straddling two lines, right? So imagine there's an imaginary line. You're straddling one side, your day job, the other side, your hobby, and you're straddling that line like this, right? Do you guys see that? Like this, right? To a point that whatever line becomes most profitable, you then bolt over to that side. So if it's your side hustle and you go full time, you take that side hustle. If the side hustle is not taking off, you're still working that corporate day job, bringing home the bacon, using that bacon to fund your passion, your business, your side hustle. All right, so people out there who have no idea what they want to major in, I would say go out there and pick a major in the top 10 list, right? That's the best way to guarantee you won't be broke as a joke, right? Pick a major in the top 10 list, then start something on the side and straddle the line all the way till you reach a point where you can cross over and work on your passion project full time. Like for example, with me, I've been straddling the line from day one, right? All the way in college, I had a startup I was doing to the point where actually the startup I did in college was the reason why I got this job at IBM. Because my manager saw that I was a hustler. I could turn nothing into something. I was dedicated, I was driven. That's the reason why I got the job. So my side hustle, my project, my baby is what got me the job. And to a point now, I've been working for IBM, for Deloitte as a company, but still doing multiple things on the side. I've had a video production company on the side. I've done short-term real estate rentals on the side with Airbnb, like I blogged about earlier. Right? I've done selling stuff on Amazon on the side, and now I have a second side hustle, startup, Peer Hustle, which is the on-demand mobile freelancer marketplace. So you can do lots of things on the side while still getting a job that pays and brings home the money, right? So you don't really have to overcommit one way unless it's in the way that you like, in the field that you like, when you have money coming that way. But if there's no money coming that way, then straddle the line.